Final four of the college football playoffs are finally set. We have Miami versus Ole Miss and Oregon versus Indiana. I'm going to give you guys my game predictions and rundown. Let's just jump right into it. What's up, YouTube? It's me, J6 Guy. I'm back with another video. Today, we're talking about the college football Final Four playoffs. I'm so excited. I've been gone for a little bit. Sorry, I did a playoff video, but I accidentally deleted it. So about that, whatever. So I'm just gonna get right into it. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. More videos coming soon. I think I post shorts often too. So let's just lock in, get right into the video. First matchup, let's talk about Miami and Ole Miss. Now, I'm just gonna be honest. Miami, like, since their playoff run has really surprised me. Especially the first game with Texas A&M was a little rough, but the Ohio State game really opened my eyes. I'm like, all right, Miami's an actual contender this year. That front five they have is ridiculous, and having a vet at Carson Beck definitely helps them. That game against Ohio State really opened my eyes to say, okay, these guys are fucking dogs. Um, they're gonna have a run, or they're gonna be a tough team to beat. So the thing about the Ole Miss, though, Ole Miss has all year has really had my eyes. I'm like, yo, this is a great team, especially Trinidad Chambers. If you didn't know, fun fact, Trinidad Chambers played with Tyrone Fowler. Tyrone Fowler, you've seen it, what's up, gang? Played with him in high school. He won the national championship with him last year at Fair State. Crazy fun fact. But Trinidad Chambers is ridiculous, bro. Like, that game against Georgia, Ole Miss played the game they needed to play to win that specific game. Honestly, at the same time, I didn't think Georgia was doing anything this season. So, with that being said, against going to Miami, especially that front five and Miami defense as a whole, is going to be tough for Ole Miss to really, for fourth quarter, stand with Miami and go punch for punch. I totally think it's going to be a little bit of a shootout down the stretch. I think Ole Miss might struggle early throughout the game, but later in the game, I feel like Ole Miss probably pick it up, probably get a couple scores to bring it back a little bit. But my final score predictions right now, I have, yeah, I think it's going to be 31-34, 31-34, 31-35. I think it's going to be a late score by Miami to ultimately win the game. Ole Miss, great season, great team. At the same, I really want to pick Ole Miss, but it's just the fact that just what it comes down to, me personally, coaching. Mario Cristobal and his guys at Miami right now, half the people he's with, if you don't know, he is the same coach as he's been with since Oregon. So I feel like this is a huge thing for them because Mario Cristobal has never been in a college football playoff. So I don't think they're taking this lightly at all. They have a veteran quarterback in Carson Beck. They have a veteran front five. I think the Miami D-line is going to eat. So I think Trinidad Chambers is going to have to do something in Ole Miss. That's not banging on Ole Miss at all. They're a great team. I really feel like Ole Miss is going to give them their best shot, but I don't think they're going to be anything at all for Miami. I think Miami handles them well. Might be a little back and forth, but I think for the most part, by the end of the second quarter, like, it will be shown that Miami's walking out of this game as the winner, and that will be the first team in the national championship. Now, let's get to the other game, the low-key, the bigger game, I should say. Ole Miss versus, I said Ole Miss. Ooh. Oregon versus Indiana. Now, this is a game I'm super excited for. You know, I'm a Ducks fan. So, first time Oregon played in Indiana, it did not go well. The one thing I noticed, especially watching Ducks all the time, being a Ducks fan, Indiana off rip was the more physical team against Oregon at Austin on the road, which very surprised me. Like, first quarter, it was very visible that this Indiana D line and offensive line were very more physical than Oregon's D line and O line at the time. Now, I don't know if Oregon just went into the game underestimating Indiana, and that could have been possible. But at the same time, on the field play is on the field play. It just straight up, Oregon played their worst game that season, or that game. Dante Moore played his worst game all season that game. Just going back and looking at the film, he missed so many plays that could have kept the Ducks in the game to further extend the lead or try to get back. And that's my point going into this game, is that Indiana, great year, great year. Kirk Cincinnati, like he's having a run. So I feel like for both of these teams, they have to win it this year. More for Oregon, I feel like. Specifically because Oregon has a lot of people in the transfer portal gone. They don't have a lot of people coming in yet. They have a lot of key starters that are probably going to go to the draft. So I feel like compared to last year was a very all right. We gotta do it this year. But this year is a do or die. We gotta win this shit. We gotta take it all to the national championship for the Ducks. I feel like Dan Lanning is gonna learn from his first game. But at the same time, if you don't know, Dan Lanning is I believe he's 0-2 in rematches during the season. Ole Miss, I said Ole Miss, Ohio State, and then Kalen DeBoer and Washington. So that's my other kind of concern is that Dan Lanning doesn't. Let's see if Dan Lanning actually really does learn and says, all right, this is what we need to do to beat this Indiana team. Because I feel like they very just underestimated Indiana, especially to be beaten at home. And it's not like they got beaten. Oregon got handled that whole game, like manhandled. Indiana manhandled Oregon that first game. So I really feel like Oregon is going to have a different mindset coming into this game to, all right, these guys are legit. These are the only team we lost to this year. We have to come full throttle and bring the energy, bring the juice. Especially being a neutral site game, I think it would definitely help out, I guess. But at the same time, it's a neutral site game. Oregon is way farther than Indiana. They're playing in Atlanta and Mercedes-Benz. So I really feel like it's going to be a tough game. It's going to come down to ultimately that D-line against Oregon Ducks O-line, and if Oregon can score. Indiana held Oregon to 20 points. They're second least all season, other than the Iowa game. So for me, as a regular football guy, I look at this game and say, like, no way Indiana does not lose this game. I'm an Oregon Ducks fan, and I'm saying this. No way Indiana is going into this game and they don't pull literally their heart out in this game to win. But with that being said, I feel like this is literally do or die for not Dan Lanning or Oregon, like for the Oregon Ducks football period. Like it's either now or never. Win a national championship, become a blue blood officially, and win this game. Because like honestly, this is kind of similar to last year, Oregon versus Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. Whoever won that game, everybody knew that this team 9 times out of 10 is going to win a national championship. I truly feel like the national championship is Friday between Oregon and Indiana, and whether it's Miami or Ole Miss in the Natty. But with that being said, I feel like it's going to be a very dogfight of a game, almost like rivalry feel of a game, like two dogs that know what's up and just going to pull up boxing. And I really feel like the physicality is going to be the difference in the game. Oregon is very thin right now, specifically at running back, and that's the one point of physicality of Oregon loves to dominate is the running game. So with that being said, I might be wrong. I might be a feeling, but I truly feel like the Ducks. I say that as a Ducks fan, I say this every year, but I really feel like this is do or die, now or never. They have to win this game Friday. Like this is a must win. You as Dan Lanning, you can't you have to show that you've learned and developed and know that there's other ways to win games. And that's the other thing too. Like specifically against the game against Texas Tech, there's too many times in that game where, bro, you just have to take points. And I fully understand it's like aggressive. But this is to the point where this is now or never. This is playoff season. If you go down the field, bro, and it's 4th and 1, and you inside the 30, and whatever, bro, the Ducks have to take points these games. They have to be very smart. They have to be different this game. You can't just be. I love the aggressiveness from Dan Lanning, but it has to be strategic, and it has to be sometimes you pull that extra punch. You know what? 4th and 1, we could go for it right now. Playoff season, yes. First try, let's just take these points. We get it again, all right, we're going for the win. If you that understands, like Texas Tech, they were all rip for the win. Go, 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 and the offense was very, very sloppy. So what it's going to come down to is the little things, the little things, the little things, technique, and ultimately the physicality of both of these teams. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the score is going to be 26-20. Oregon Ducks win. I'm going to say it's going to be a field goal, like the last 2-3 minutes to extend the lead to a 6-point game. And Oregon defense, they have been doing all season, Oregon defense stops Indiana and wins the game for them. Defense wins championships. This is the first time in my life as an Oregon Ducks fan that I can say that the Oregon defense is better than the offense this year. Defense wins championships. I feel like defense is pissed, especially because of last year against Indiana. I feel like this is going to be a huge game for Oregon to finally prove themselves and say, this is us. We're here. We can finally do this. And it will be the biggest win in Oregon Ducks history because, lie to you not, they were walking that championship. If Dan Lanning gets to the national championship, there is no way he's not walking out with that trophy. So, borderline this. If Oregon can out physical Indiana for 4 quarters, they're going to win the game. If at the same time, if Oregon can't hold Indiana to at least 30 points, I do not see them winning the game. Like, just because of our offense these past couple weeks, not past couple weeks, but relatively against Texas Tech, defense, we have to work together this game. We can't just be like, all right, defense got it or offense got it. Like literally, like past against JMU, that's how it felt. Like offense got it. Against Texas Tech, it felt like defense got it. They bring everything together 4 fucking quarters. I truly feel like Oregon dukes out a win against this really, really tough Indiana team. And it has to be full-fledged aggressiveness every play, every down. And it's a crazy game. It really is a crazy game because it's a rematch game. Dan Lanning hasn't won a rematch in the same season yet against the same coach. So it's going to be a very eye-opening game to really see how it's going, especially compared to both of rematches. Watching Killing the Board, Pac-12 championship, we got blown out. Oregon Ducks had to come back in the fourth quarter with literally 6 minutes left, and they still had a chance to win that game. Against Ohio State, Oregon Ducks got blown out in the rematch. So that is like my concern is that bro, change it. You gotta change it up. You have to switch it up. The same stuff is not gonna work. So with that being said, I'm not confident in these picks at all. Because at the same time, I'm not as confident that Miami can go toe to toe with Ole Miss for 4 quarters. Because sometimes Miami is just off as well. Like this is the most toss-up year in college football ever. But at the same time, if Indiana beats Oregon, Indiana's going to win the national championship. So it's just a very I love this. I love that it's like this year though. Like it's not a very obvious distinct winner. I know as of right now, Indiana is everybody's favorite, but even if so, I feel like Indiana versus Miami matchup could get very, very interesting, especially with both of those D lines. And that's the other thing about Indiana as well. They have 3 D linemen out and 2 DBs like that play. So I think that's going to be a key factor too, is that Oregon Ducks O-line is going against a little deteriorated D-line of Indiana this time because their D-line was cooking us first game. So I really feel like it's going to be a very good game. It's going to be absolute cinema. I feel like Indiana might jump out early first, get a couple scores, Oregon bring it back, then Oregon lock in, extend it, and win the game later. I feel like it's going to be like Big Ten Penn State kind of game. Like early, like teams figure it out, then late, that's when the scores are going to come. I don't think it's going to be a very high scoring game compared to last time, at least. So that being said, guys, those are my college football playoff predictions. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. With that being said, the national championship will be Oregon versus Miami. That will be fucking Oregon versus Miami in a national championship. Oregon going against their previous head coach, Mario Cristobal. Mario Cristobal going against his previous school he coached at that he could never get to the playoffs would literally be cinema. And that's the one thing that like truly excites me. That like script writers, if you wrote it this year, that shit, okay. But at the same time, Oregon has to win this game. They gotta show up. With that being said, guys, that's my little take. Love you guys. More videos dropping soon. Give me your score predictions down below. And who do you think you're gonna be in the national championship this year? Like, obviously I'm an Oregon Ducks fan. I'm rooting for the Ducks. But who do I generally think with my gut? I have to be honest, Indiana. But if Oregon wins this game, they're winning the national championship. So, love you guys. More videos coming soon. See you guys later. Peace.